Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to paint Bullgryns, as per the colour scheme you can see in front of you there. If you're usually just painting guardsmen, you're for a real treat here because these are so much bigger and easier to paint. In the description will be all the paints I use as well as the brush sizes. So I've actually sprayed the model using Citadel spray, Corvus Black, and I've also magnetised the shield using 4mm magnets from Amazon. Firstly I paint his trousers using Maccrage Blue using quite a large brush. And then, using a medium-sized brush, I pick out all of the details of the steel cap boots, his shin protector, the tank tracks, and also on the back of him is like a big armoured sort of plate, as well as some hooks, as well as a respirator as well. Next I paint his belt using Rhino Hide, and also the singlet, which you can see underneath the armour, in Doombell Brown. Next I paint all of his flesh, using a large brush to pick out his arms, then a medium brush to pick out his fingers, and also his face as well. Also on the maul, or I guess the baton, I paint the grip of it in Rhino Hide. And then with his boots, I actually use Abaddon Black because it's a bit of a darker, brighter black to finish off his boots. Now I go through the maul or the baton, all his armour, both on his body and also on his arm, as well as the respirator and the mask he's wearing, and touch up using Corvus Black. Now Leadblecher a bit of detailed work using a much smaller brush. As you can see here, I've picked out the detail of part of the baton and used like a bit of a dry brush method to show there. Then obviously I pick out with Leadblecher Silver all the bolts and rivets, as well as using Russ Grey to pick out sort of like the clasps and the sealing areas of the armour. Next I then pick out the Imperial Eagle and Skull using Hashnut Copper to bring it to life. And also on the baton I like to use it as well to pick out sort of like the diamonds. Now for the highlighting. So I use Russ Grey, and here you want to be using the edge of one of your medium brushes and basically picking out all of the sharp areas of his armour. Same with the baton. You can see that I'm carefully just working the side of the brush on the sharp edges. And now actually on the respirator, or the mask he's wearing, you can see I'm very carefully picking out the sides of the respirator there. Notice I've actually rested my one of my fingers on my right hand up against his body to stabilise my hand. Now same thing to pick out sort of the bulging areas of his muscles to bring to life sort of that definition and the strength he's got there. So using Cadian Fleshtone with a medium brush, go around. This is actually quite fun, this part, going around and really sort of to bring to life the real muscular look that this miniature has. Obviously the fingers as well is very obvious. And don't forget on his face to do things like his cheekbones and also side of his ears as well. So now you can see the model is in a pretty good place already. It's looking pretty good. You could probably just leave it at this point if you wanted to and go straight to the shades or the washes. But as per the colour scheme you saw at the start, I actually like to use a camouflage sort of colour scheme. So now it's just a matter of using your medium brush with quite a sharp tip, going through with Corvus Black. And remember to be random, moving up and down, left and right, or just doing great big blobs, because remember camouflage paint is meant to be random and replicating nature. So have a bit of fun here, just move around. You can do as much or as little as you want. Once that's dry, do the same thing with Ceramite White, doing the same principles, left and right, up and down, and great big blobs as well. Don't forget to get underneath him, hidden spots, because I think that can really help bring it to life if people can see you've done a little bit more work in all areas. Next is your first shade or first wash. Obviously using a shade brush or a larger brush, just go around and dab around the wash and all these muscles. Make sure it doesn't pull anywhere. Same thing with Nulin oil. Does a fantastic job on the tank tracks. You can see there. So do the same thing on his boots, all armour, and also the maul as well, or the baton. As I said before, try to avoid it sort of pooling up too much. Just spread it around, and if you've got too much on your brush, just dab it on your tissue. Lastly, Agrax Earthshade. I do this on his belt, his singlets, and also actually on his trousers as well, because then it gives a bit more of a realistic dirty look, because I can't imagine if you're wearing camouflage trousers in 40k that your white would be too clean. Lastly, the shield. Just picking out with a copper the emblem on the front of the shield. Also with Leadblecher once again, picking out the armoured circle, and also like the metallic spikes at the bottom, which I guess he would be using to stabilise the weapon or the shield. Now, I use a red here to sort of paint out these individual stripes. And the reason why I use red here is because then it matches the rest of my army, as you would have saw at the beginning of the video with that single veteran with the left red shoulder pad. So carefully go through with a medium brush and pick that out. Next is then using Corvus Black again and covering the entire model with that. Good chance also to pick out any of the mistakes you've made, like I did on the armoured circle. Using Leadblecher once again, pick out all the rivets and screws, which are quite a lot. So go through carefully with your little detail brush and pick those out. And don't forget, there's some really cool stuff on this model, some battle damage. I simply just get some Leadblecher and do it almost like a light dry brush to pick out the edges where there's some battle damage, like the bullet holes. It looks like he's been hit with some sort of force instrument on that point there. Now for the edging, same principle as per his body armour, using Russ Grey and the edge of your fine brush. Go through and pick out all of the sharp edges, which obviously there are plenty on a model piece like this. So make sure you go around and pick out every single piece, or as much as you can. Then of course using Nulin oil wash or shade, then go through and apply as much as you see fit on any areas where there are recesses or you want to sort of bring out more detail, obviously being that imperial crest there. Remember to, again, don't let it pull too much. Do spread it around, make sure it goes in all the nooks and crannies to sort of give that defined look there. Right, there you have it. So well done. Your Bullgryn is finished. All you've got to do now is base him up, ready for the tabletop. I actually paint his eyes as well, but I don't show that in this video because I do not feel qualified yet to be explaining that to you because it's actually very, very challenging. But hopefully you can see he does look very, very nice, looks pretty cool. And as I said before, because he's so much bigger than a typical guardsman, which is probably about twice the size from a model point of view, you can have a lot of fun doing this. So hopefully helpful. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like, subscribe, and as I said, all paints and brush types will be kept in the comments in the description below. Chat to you next time. Bye.